Well, hello, I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Joe Edwards. Joe, fixtures day, Premier League, the games are out. Caused a little bit by surprise when they announced it yesterday, that'd be this morning. So I'm unfortunately not in the office. I mean, we born in Scotland for a day. Not a bad accent there, actually. But but we're here to discuss and to digest the games. We've seen them all now. And most importantly, I think the headline is that everybody plays everybody else twice.
Yeah.
Stunning news, stunning.
Wow, took a genius to work that one out.
Well, let's hope so, because I mean, even that's in doubt at the moment in the current environment. But yeah, what do you make of it? First look at it. Obviously, everybody likes to see it and see who the big boys are, see when the derbies are. What are your first thoughts?
I think it looks all right. Obviously, the start is up for contention. I think the fact that Wolves have been given 2 extra days, while
It is ridiculous.
while Villa somehow get another week off, and so do Burnley because of the Manchester clubs. It just seems, I just don't know how they've worked that out. Why don't you just draw Wolves and Chelsea against the Manchester clubs and then let all
Exactly.
let all 4 of them? But well, Sheffield United away, yeah, fair enough. Be a tough game. It's always a tight game against them. But I think if you look at 2 months in particular that look quite nice for Wolves, I think you look at October, Fulham at home, Newcastle at home, Crystal Palace at home, a trip to Leeds in between.
Yeah.
That's a nice month. That's a month where you can pick up some valuable points. And then you're looking at April, where that running to try and cement a place. Hopefully a European place, for Wolves towards the end of the season. You've got West Ham at home, Sheffield United at home, and Burnley at home in April, and a trip to Fulham. So I think you're looking at those kind of 2 key months really for Wolves. You're looking at the kind run-ins and where you can pick up points and points in succession. I think October and April, right off the bat, are months that you can target.
Of course, the main question, I guess, is with that, in inverted commas, kind schedule in October, will they have enough chance to recover before those games come around? You're looking at Wolves' last game. We're talking about the new fixtures and the season, being published today. I mean, they were less than 2 weeks ago and they were still playing football. So it's all about recovery now, isn't it? And can they come back fresh to start the season with a bang? Because as we knew last season, and we found out they didn't start the season particularly well, did they? And it was when they got into the season is when we saw their best form. So have they got enough time, albeit 2 days before everybody, or 2 days after everybody else, which, like you say, is ridiculous? Have they got enough time to then take advantage of those easier fixtures on paper?
I guess the proof will be in the pudding, won't it? We don't know truly until we see. I mean, Wolves don't tend to start seasons great. We know that, but they did do well after the restart. So hopefully that is a trend that has been booked. And you're looking at September, you've got Sheffield United, Man City, West Ham. They're your first 3 fixtures. It's just, I did a bit of a piece about this earlier in the week. You've got the Carabao to think about as well. And they're back-to-back weeks. So if you go to the 4th round of the Carabao, let's say, you could be playing 6 games in September after a 383-day season. So I don't think that the Carabao is going to be prioritised, really, as has been the case really under Nuno. I think there is scope to give the cup competitions a bit more of a crack. But we've discussed the prize on offer in the Carabao, which is a Europa Conference League. I don't think that's all.
You're not keeping Raul Jimenez and Ruben Neves with a tertiary European competition, are you? Let's be honest. But
No.
just and we'll discuss this more in the podcast tomorrow, Joe. But with that, and like you say, with the amount of games that there could be in September, you got to think. You don't even want them to go half and half, do you? And maybe hedge your bets. I mean, if you're going to rest them, just play the 23s for me. If you're going to devalue that cup competition as much as the winners are going to drop into that European, that third tier European league, then just play the kids. Why would you even sacrifice people when you know they're tired already?
Well, that's it. I think the best bet is to just go gung-ho for the league for those first few months. Get yourself to Christmas time, early January. Get yourself a nice footing for when the FA Cup 3rd round begins in early January, and then try and make a proper fist of the FA Cup. I mean, just looking at some more of the key Premier League fixtures.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you there. Villa and Albion. Where are those dates?
So Albion is on January 16th at Molineux.
Okay.
So hopefully get some fans in for that. A decent crowd, and then
Absolutely.
away at the Hawthorns is on May the 1st. So
Right. Wow.
it's looking good in terms of getting fans in for both of them.
Yeah.
Villa, first game's on December 12th
Perfect.
at Molineux. So again, hopefully get a few fans in for that. And then the away game, March the 6th. So, those derby games have kind of fell at decent times, especially from a fan point of view. You're hoping there'll be at least some sort of crowd for them. Boxing Day, that's another one you look at. Tottenham at home. So, that's a nice one if fans can get to that.
I guess the disappointing thing, and it's going to be the same for all clubs as well, is that we're not going to have fans. I was very 99% certain that we'll have fans for the start of the season.
Yeah.
That Manchester City people, you bring back those memories of beating them at home, and that's when you really want the crowd behind you, and you're going to play that probably with no fans, which is a disappointment, isn't it? But you've got to do it with some of the games, and I guess City are one of them.
Yeah.
On the flip of the coin, Man City, when they're in top gear, then they're very difficult to beat. If you get them at the start of the season, then that might be a decent chance as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it two sides of the coin. It's going to be Man City's first game as things stand because of their first week getting postponed and rearranged. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Wolves will have a game under their belts. Will they be more match ready? You can look at it two ways, I think. But you're looking at that schedule, and there's not really a point where you think, God, that's a bad run.
December? Is December a bit dodgy?
Yeah, I guess, but you've got Liverpool, Villa, Chelsea, Burnley, Tottenham, Man U. I know you've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Man U in there, but you'd like to think it'd be, one of at least Villa or Burnley, or if not both, and then you've got Wolves' record against the top six. They're due, you'd back them to be at least one of them. So December, yeah, perhaps one of the tougher months, but at the same time, I think it's a fairly kind run of fixtures really for Wolves.
Great stuff, Joe. And we were talking about middle of October potentially with fans going to be allowed in. So what if you could hazard a guess now, a Joe Edwards guess? When do you think
that can be sketchy?
It can be very sketchy. When do you think we might see fans? What do you think could be the first home game where we might see at least some supporters back at Molineux?
Maybe that Fulham game on October the 3rd at home. If not that, then obviously Newcastle on the 24th. But I think, all being well, I think October the 3rd, get a few fans in for that. Maybe it's not the most glamorous of games, but Wolves fans will take anything rightly at the moment. It's been so long that they've, without seeing, them in action at Molineux and soaking up the atmosphere, even if it's 30% capacity or something like that, you take it in a heartbeat. So fingers crossed, Fulham, and hopefully be a winning return for the fans as well.
Final finishing position.
Should we say 7th again? Come on.
Yeah. I'm saying 6th, baby. 6th. Okay. I like it.
Cool.
Right, got to go and sample some whiskey and some haggis. So I'll love you and leave you. But enjoy the chat. And like I say, we're doing the podcast tomorrow. That'll be out. And for all the latest updates and of course the fixture details in full, make sure you log on to expressandstar.com.